Bridget and welcome back to my channel. This is the end of week 10. Week 10! We're already mid-August. We are starting to see the peak of my growing season here in Zone 4B. Let's get right into it. Lots of exciting stuff happened this week. Let's start off with our lovely carrots. They're growing so well. We have been eating them throughout the week. I'll insert some clips here. You can see that one's just about ready to come out too. So slowly but surely we've been eating away at the carrots. It's for sure something that I want to grow more of next year. I love eating them raw, I love them as a cooked vegetable, and Jesse really wants me to pickle them. On to my beans. Last night we were finally able to have our first meal with our fresh beans. I'll insert some footage here. I am so happy. We still have quite a few beans that are starting to get a good size, but my predictions for Bean Boom were certainly spot on. I don't know if you guys can tell how tall these tomato plants are getting. It is ridiculous. And a lot more tomatoes are starting to pop out. Got some baby ones here. A big mama down there. A few more throughout. I think I've got this one here is pretty cat-based. I think from the look of it, it might have been a fused blossom, so it won't be the prettiest tomato. They're still very much green. It's definitely starting to boom though, because even my weaker plants are actually starting to produce fruit, which is great. As far as the health of my plants, this one here does get pooped on a lot by birds, so the leaves aren't always healthy, but I did start seeing some yellowing here and there in the leaves, so I just plucked those leaves off and basically keep going. I have not been keeping up with my pruning. Definitely have to start pulling off those suckers again so we can concentrate on the fruit and not on more leaf growth. Like this guy here, that's a huge sucker. Goodbye. Now onto my cucumbers. Look at this guy. Ouch. He is getting big. Still pretty spiky, so not ready to pick yet. But that is my biggest cucumber. This plant here is the one that I had started indoors. It's not the strongest plant, but it is the one with the biggest cucumber on it so far. As you may have noticed as well, they finally started climbing the trellis with a little bit of help. The other plants here, we got some good sized cucumbers on these ones as well. Some itty bitty ones as well, but it is finally starting to climb. Thank goodness, because my tomatoes are kind of blocking the sun, as you can see. So thank God they're climbing. Now, not only have we been picking some carrots and some beans to eat throughout this week, I picked all of our apples. So I made a delicious pie with most of our apples. I had to cut it with about 2 store-bought apples that are another kind, just to cut down on that sourness because they're a little sour. We had to pick them a little early. They weren't all quite ripe, but if we wanted to be able to have any of those apples, we needed to pick them now. The dogs were getting to them and it was fine. I still have some left over. I think I'm going to be making pumpkin apple muffins, which are delicious. But I will enter some of the footage of my pie right here. Now, something super, super exciting is happening over in the other garden. So let's go see. Finally, I have some sunflowers that are opened. They have multiple flowers per stem, but I don't know if you guys can tell how tall these guys are. Some of these are ridiculously high. My potatoes, still going strong. I think I'm gonna be digging up a lot of them this weekend. So they're doing good. I think they're done flowering, so it is time to dig them up. Let me get in there just so you can see how tall these guys are. Look at these happy flowers. All right, so I'm with the beautiful new sunflowers. Look, I can't even reach that. And I'm 5'6". These are so tall. Although I'm so happy, I have some blooming finally. The other flowers seem to be pretty close as well, but this makes me so happy. I'm definitely planting more sunflowers next year. Oh my gosh, once that's all opened up, I'm gonna cry. Now the raspberries over here have come to an end. There's maybe a few on there left, but we'll leave that for the dogs and the squirrels. None for us, unfortunately. Now on to the herb garden. Cilantro, I keep saying I'm gonna make salsa. I haven't used any yet, but I bought chips this week, so definitely gonna make some. The basil's looking a little less sad. The whole plant's drooping, but the leaves are starting to come back. Last week I mentioned I was going to plant more onions. However, the onions I had died, so I didn't end up doing that. But I did thin out the dill, and it's actually starting to come back a little bit. So I think my problem was I sowed them too thick. But I'm definitely going to be using more herbs this week, I promise. All right, that just about wraps things up for week 10 of my garden tour. We are finally starting to see the fruits of our labor and finally getting to enjoy all the hard work we put into things. Flowers are finally coming out. We're starting to eat our vegetables. This is amazing. I am loving this life. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you don't want to miss another one of my videos, and I will see you guys next week. Bye now.